Hey there. Want to do another bust on the Watchtower. This was suggested to me by Fairweather, and this was actually kind of in the back of my mind anyway, because I just recently read First Corinthians, and I have a. Anybody have Illumina? That's a fine little Bible computer program. A lot of good commentaries there, and I'd read a note on First Corinthians 9 when I was reading it. Plan to do a video about it anyway, but this can tie in very nicely. Um, Jehovah's Witnesses, they'll insist that anytime we add Jehovah to the New Testament, we're simply putting in what the thieves took away. It was supposed to say Jehovah in the first place. We're just putting it back in. Well, okay. Let's see where that goes. Here's 1 Corinthians 10:9. Neither may we be testing out. Let me zoom in on it a bit for you. There we go. Neither may we be testing out the Lord according as some of them tested, and by the serpents they were destroying themselves. Now, if you look over a bit, you're going to see that they felt it was perfectly acceptable. Neither let us put Jehovah to the test, because, well, the Lord's there, so it obviously originally said Jehovah, because first century Christians, by golly, used the word Jehovah all the time. So, they really shoot themselves in the foot on this one. And I want to show you how. This is from the Jameson Fawcett Brown Bible commentary. It says, let us not tempt Christ. The oldest version, that is to say the oldest manuscripts, Irenaeus, and good manuscripts read. They're saying they tempt Christ. Let me zero in on this a bit. Some of the oldest manuscripts read Lord, and one manuscript only God. If Lord be read, it will mean Christ, as Christ is referred to in one of the five privileges of Israel, so naturally he should be mentioned here in one of the five corresponding sins of that people. Now, in the context of this passage here, Paul's talking about how the Israelites tempted God in the wilderness. And in verse 10:9, it's the oldest manuscripts say they tempted Christ. In other words, Christ was the Jehovah God following the Israelites, the spiritual rock in the wilderness that the Israelites enraged. Now, I want to take a look at the Irenaeus piece. This is from Against Heresies, Book 4, Chapter 27, Section 3. You have a scorecard? Let me zero in on a bit here. Here it is. The people sat down to eat and drink, rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them also did, and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them were also tempted and were destroyed of serpents. So in other words, Irenaeus in 180, we're going to say 180, was writing this book Against Heresies. And when he was quoting from Paul's letter to the Corinthians, the copy he had in 180 said, neither let us tempt Christ. I think we could say the oldest possible manuscripts, the oldest manuscript and the very best manuscripts say tempt Christ. Now, do we know the implications of this? It meant Christ was Jehovah God in the wilderness. I mean, the New World Translation says as much, that they were tempting Jehovah. Well, in actuality, they were tempting Christ. And the Trinity isn't biblical? News to me. So let's look at the good old-fashioned Greek New World Translation. See how they did. Let's copy this and put it into Google Translate, the thing that the Watchtower wish never existed, I'm sure. My word, I'm pulling up the wrong stuff. I'm sorry. I thought that was 1 Corinthians 10. Oh, no, it's 1 Corinthians 9. Alright, just hang on. I'm not shooting this again. This looks like it. Let's see. Okay, neither lettuce. Does that not look like the Greek word for Jehovah? Yoba? I think so. Let's put it in and see. Neither will be tested, Jehovah. There they go, putting Jehovah in where obviously it has no reason to be. And if they frankly they wanted to put in what the thieves had taken out, what the later copyists had taken liberties on, you know what they would have done? They would have put in, neither should we tempt Christ. Did they do that? No. Because if they did that, well, we'd have a bit of a different theology coming out of the Watchtower now, wouldn't we? Yeah. So there's another bust for the Watchtower. Just yet another one to add to the pile of crimes being committed by these bums. Abraham's not happy about it either. Well, we'll see you next time.